Hey Cougars, Mr. Franklin here. For today's daily check-in, we've got some pretty important things to talk about. But just as a reminder for today, we're going to do this warm-up, which you're doing right now. We're going to take some video notes on wave behavior, and we're going to do a CER about our lunar location that we're going to be picking as a group. We just finished progress reports, and it's obvious from looking at grades and talking with students that some of us are lost and we need help. So I just want to put everyone kind of in this situation. So just think about this. You open up a worksheet on waves and it has a bunch of stuff like 7-step problems that you really don't understand how to do. So what would be the best way to get help? So what should you do? And tell me why you think that. So go ahead and do that. So in class, hopefully we'll get to discuss some of the things that you've put. So at the end of the day, we want you to get help. We want you to learn the material. And unfortunately, what we're noticing is that some people are making maybe either uninformed or very poor choices about how they're getting help. So we need to tell you what the school policy is here. Cheating. Students are expected to practice responsible and honest behavior. We're expecting you to complete your work to the best of your ability, turn in assignments on time, and be a contributing member of each class. We want you to learn, and we want you to do the work, do your own work, and show us what you know. And the more honest you are with that, the more we can help you. One of the things that we're noticing is that in a desire to help each other, maybe you are sending a picture or a copy of your work to someone else, thinking that you're going to help them, and then they're just turning around and turning in your work as if it's their own. So that's the primary thing that we're noticing. But all of these actually fall in this category. Getting help on tests when you're supposed to do it by yourself, copying off of other people's answers, falsifying data, just making up information that you didn't really look up, unauthorized collaboration. We want you to actually work together and ask questions, and we'll talk about what that should look like here in a second. But what we're all getting is people copying ideas that are not actually their own and passing it off as if it's their own. That's really primarily what we're dealing with. According to the student handbook, the consequences for cheating is what those are all called. The first offense is any student committing one of those unacceptable behaviors will lose credit for the assignment, which is a 0, or test with no makeup permitted. And then you'll receive a referral to the assistant principal and a parent contact will be made. So that's your first offense. Second offense, within the same class will result in a referral to the principal, removal from the class with a withdrawal/failure for the grade and loss of credit. Parent will be notified. Now, at that point, you're already out of my class. Well, now you're in, say, for example, a math class or English class, and you're also caught there. Your third offense results in withdrawal and a failing grade for that class and loss of credit. So in summary, first time you cheat, it's a 0 for the grade with no makeup. Second time, you're removed from the class and you're given an F. Third time, you're removed from whatever other class that might have been and also given an F. So once you've done it twice, it doesn't matter how many times you've done it in the past. There's no like reset button. And that's because this is pretty serious. If you go to any university, all universities have an honor code policy. The one I went to, if you cheated the first time, you were generally kicked out of the university. Most schools are not that extreme, but it can result in loss of scholarship. It can result in lots of penalties. So it's pretty serious. Keep in mind, if someone else turns in your work, we don't always know who did what. We just know that we have 2 exact copies of the same thing. Punctuation's in the wrong place. Capitalized letters are in the wrong place. It looks like both of you were cheating. So even though maybe your intention was you're going to send it to them so they could take a look and maybe get an idea how to do it, that might have been your intention. That's not how we see it as the teacher. When we see both of those turned in the same, both of you were cheating, you both get the 0. Okay, so be very careful because everyone involved may get a 0 and suffer the consequences regardless of your intention with trying to help someone else out, because we want you to learn and not be taking advantage of someone else who did all the work. So how do you get help? We want you to get help. Here are some ways to think about it. Ask your teacher in class or Zoom. All of your teachers are very excited to help you. That's our job, is to teach you and to work with you. And I know it can be very intimidating. You can be very nervous about doing that. But I promise you, if you ask for help, we're going to give it to you the best that we know how. We also know that you may not see the point of what's going on, but we do. We see that what you're doing right now with 7 steps that maybe you don't know how to do, you're going to do it again in chemistry. So there's lots of things that may feel hard and you don't know how to do. You got to work to get to where you know them. We're not just giving you things just because we feel like giving it to you. We're giving it to you because we know to be successful as a cougar, you have to be able to access the material. And that's what we're setting you up for. Okay. You can also ask your teacher to meet in tutorial, but then you also have to show up. I bet if you really are having a hard time making tutorial time, if you talk with your teacher, they might be willing to figure out another way to meet with you or through email, through somehow get you the help that you need. Ask a Cougar Excel tutor for help. And then last, you can ask a classmate to explain how to do it. Now, classmate, you get asked for help. Protect yourself. Don't give them your work, but happily answer questions and help them learn how to do it. So while you're helping someone else or getting help, the best way to help someone, this is what teachers do, and I know it drives you nuts because I've been a student myself, okay, is when the teacher asks, you just ask the question, the teacher asks you a question. That does two things. One, it makes you think, but two, it also tells us where are you lost? Because a lot of times you're asking a question, but what you think you're lost on is not what you're lost on. And so by asking questions, we can start figuring out where are you at, and then where do I need to move you so that you understand? Some questions you could ask are, what did you get for your givens? I think that this is velocity and not a wavelength. Well, I think it's a wavelength and not a velocity. And now you have a discussion and you can explain why. Well, why do you think it's a velocity? Because it has meters per second. Oh, yeah, that's velocity. I get it. So now you're having a conversation, and you can have that even through text, through DM, all those kinds of things. Okay. Another question might be, what is the question asking? What does blank word mean? What does frequency mean? So you can help each other a lot by asking leading questions, and don't just leave them hanging, help them answer it and figure it out. But you have got to learn how to do it yourself. So for the Pear Deck, what are some other questions you could ask while helping or while you're getting help? So what are some questions you might be able to ask that might help someone else get caught up or get unlost? What are some questions you could ask if you're the person that's lost? Awesome. I can't wait to take a look at those. So in summary, cheating or copying is very serious. I know in COVID, there's been a lot of things where we've really relaxed some of how we look at things, but this is not one of them, okay? I really want you to not be lost. I really don't want you to be confused, but I also want you to learn, and turning in someone else's work isn't learning, okay? Learning is hard, and so we got to work through it, but it's okay to be lost. It's just not okay to stay there and then not ask for help. So please ask for help. Please ask questions, but don't copy other people's work. All right. That's all I've got for you today. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.